Old Fashioned Football on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Get up to $1,000 deposit match when you sign up at underdogfantasy.com using promo code OFFSGPN.
Hey, what's up? This is Sam Macho, and you're listening to Old Fashioned Football.
Welcome to Old Fashioned Football. If you're wondering who you're listening to, this is J Mark. You can find me on the X at J Mark Football. And if you're wondering who us is, that's at Old Fashioned FB. Before I keep going to talk about these Chiefs and if they can make the Super Bowl again, I got to bring in my co-host on the pod and in life. You can find her on the X at the Mark. Mur, how you doing today?
Doing good.
It is Friday.
It's Friday. This is a weird day to do this, but we're here.
We are here. Yeah, why not? It is the longest day of the year as well in the Northern Hemisphere. I guess those Southern Hemisphere folk don't get this longest day. But for us, it's the longest day of the year. What?
It is.
Did you know it was just for the Northern Hemisphere?
I'm not going to make myself be dumb on the show.
Oh, I did not know. I will say that. But I looked it up and saw it. So there we go. Jamie checking in. What's up, ladies? Speaking of Jamie,
hello.
He said that because it's the longest day of the year, he expects the longest podcast of our life. I don't think
we're gonna do the opposite.
Yeah, we this is gonna be probably a little bit of a quickie. I mean, a quickie is okay every now and then. And if you're watching on YouTube, Miranda shook her head. She disagrees. She disagrees with that, but that's okay. It's a scorcher out. It is. It's hot
and
out.
it's windy. It's a weird vibe outside.
Mhm.
We had a lot of plans, and I had a lot of plans in the garden tonight.
You had a lot of plans for me.
But yeah, we're kind of getting a heat wave here.
Yeah, a little bit. Jamie, the ladies' man, saying, "Mur, did you do something different with your hair?"
A little bit ago.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it looks nice. I told her it looked nice first. Just saying.
You trying to take that credit?
Just wanted Jamie to know. Yeah, we're going to be talking a little AFC Super Bowl odds, but the main thing we're going to be kind of just talking about or asking ourselves, and both of us will give our answer. But can the Chiefs make the Super Bowl again? Or if not, who might take their place?
Mm-hmm.
I know my thoughts on that. I don't know your thoughts.
You
but
don't.
I'm looking forward to seeing them.
I was not going to give you those deets in advance.
And if you're on YouTube, you can see our clicker on the screen. So you see that there's going to be a little ragging on Rodgers too, because why not?
I'm a little upset with the fact that he gets his own segment. Like you gave him a title. His name is in our show. Like it's okay. We'll move on.
Well, I will direct you to the screen for the comment reading real quick, but Rodgers, it's ragging on Rodgers. It's ragging on him.
It's the laziness part of that subject that bothers me.
If you don't know what we're talking about because you're listening on Spotify or Apple, come on over to YouTube. See what's going on in the comments here. Mur, before we keep going, what are we drinking today?
Okay, today we're still in top shelf June. So we have next week's our last week of June.
It is.
But today we are drinking Weller 12, and you pre-made. Is there any ice in these?
No,
You froze?
I froze them. I put them in the freezer.
Okay.
We got little old fashions because
it's Weller 12.
Yeah.
It pained me that you had to make an old fashioned with this, but that's what we're doing. We're gonna compare it in the old fashioned. Gonna compare it neat. We're gonna do a little review.
Yeah.
Last week we did Weller Antique 107. The week before that it was Blanton's.
Mm-hmm.
Next week, just for anyone joining in, we'll be doing Eagle Rare. Is that the one we chose?
That is the one that you chose.
I chose.
Yes, you made our list here.
I came up with top shelf whatever month. It was supposed to be May, but
yeah.
whatever.
Ironically, it's pretty much all the whiskeys that you keep in your office and say are yours. I mean, I don't know how that happened. I guess no top shelf for old J Mark here. But that's all right. Jamie's saying that I also look very handsome with the beard. I think what it is it's the Battlehawks hat, the St. Louis Battlehawks, which I got compliments on the UFO show. Not so many compliments from you when we were in the store the other day.
You almost rammed me in the face with the bill of that hat. It like sticks out extra far.
Yeah, you seem to think it's a large hat. I don't know. It's a normal hat.
No, the bill is like.
I just don't wear trucker hats very often, and it is a trucker hat.
It is not your style.
It's not the baseball cap style.
No, but the bill is like. It is the angle of it. We were in Trader Joe's and I turned and you turned at the same time and I almost got it like right like just because you were looking down. It was just not a good experience for me.
That Trader Joe's dates can be dangerous. That's all there is to it. I mean, you just got to watch yourself. Before we keep going, got to let you know that we're part of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, and the college football team previews are back on the College Experience. This bum named Colby Dant, who also co-hosts the CFL Gambling Podcast with me, and the awesome Moneyline Mac preview every FBS college football team. You don't want to miss it. But every FBS, they do FCS coverage too. I mean, there are. We've talked about it before when we've had Colby on the show. There is so much knowledge to his college football extent. So go check it out. Go check it out. All right. Are you ready to rag on Rodgers a little?
Yes.
All right. So he spoke.
I didn't hear. Okay. I want to preface. I almost said preface.
I know you did.
Preface this with, I haven't I don't know what came out. You kind of briefly told me.
Yeah. You haven't seen this part.
I have not seen. So I just know he sounded like an idiot.
As he normally does. That is why it's ragging on Rodgers. Let's hear what he had to say.
I'm 41, so body feels different than it did at 25, but I feel better. I feel good last year. I worked really hard. It was a tough couple of years, getting hurt and then rehabbing for a year to get back, but I feel good.
Why do you still want to play?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what it is. Like, I don't need it for my ego. I don't need it to keep playing. A lot of decisions that I've made over my career in life from strictly the ego, even if they turn out well, are always unfulfilling. But the decisions made from the soul are usually pretty fulfilling. So this was a decision that was best for my soul. And I felt like being here with Coach T and the guys they got here and the opportunity here was the best for me. And I'm excited to be here.
All right. Your thoughts?
What were some of yours?
Well, some of my thoughts is he's working very hard to sound profound. Is he not? I mean, well, first of all, let me back way up. I was surprised to hear him admit that he has an ego because that's always been Rodgers and his ego. And he never seems to say that. But that was my first thought. And then it just seemed like he was trying to sound very profound.
Yes.
He also went on to say that he's
this
there.
Is the part where you didn't show this.
No.
This is what I heard.
This is what I told you.
So the next part is what I've heard.
Yeah, he's here for the love of the game. He's not here to win a championship. He's here to fall in love with this game again.
So that two things to conclude from that is one, he's not in love with football anymore, but he's going to play for them.
He's gonna
and he's not there
love.
to take them to the playoffs, take them to the Super Bowl. Like, isn't that the point?
Yeah, I mean, if anybody can ruin.
It's a good thing he came out with this after he signed a contract.
Right.
And I don't know what his contract was. Was it
It was not a big contract by any means. But yeah, he just doesn't seem like he's got that competitive spirit when you say things like that. Like you're here to compete.
I'm here to fall in love with it. we'll kind of
if
see
anybody
what happens.
Can ruin Tomlin's, Mike Tomlin has had a 500 or better season for years, over a decade. If anybody can ruin it, it's Aaron Rodgers. That's just my take.
And way to pump up the team. I'm not here to win a championship. I'm not here to lead this team to victory.
Right.
I'm just here to find my love for football again.
Love for
because I don't
football.
love it anymore.
Right.
But thank you for paying me and bringing me onto the team.
It's just bizarre. I mean, one of the other things I heard some people talking about, some actual Steelers fans, like, way to alienate your fan base when you say, I'm making this decision based on my soul. And they're like, do you realize that the majority of the Steelers fan base, they have to make their decisions to pay their bills? Like, you are alienating yourselves. Wouldn't that be nice to make a decision with your soul, not with, oh, I really need to do this. So
I wish they would stop giving him the mic. Like, I'm so tired of hearing him talk.
That'll never happen.
I know.
And
you cannot tell me his ego is still not inflated the size of whatever.
Yeah,
like,
he's still got an ego.
Okay.
I mean, you can tell it when you see his helmet on. It looks like a giant helmet. Shout out to Channing Brown catching up. What's up? We just ragged on Aaron Rodgers a little bit, as one does. And we're going to talk a little bit of, are the Chiefs going to make the Super Bowl again? And then we're going to talk a little Weller 12. I'm curious, have you seen any bottles of Weller 12 up in Canada before they pulled stuff off the shelf, obviously? Just curious if that's, I mean, we rarely see it on the shelf.
No,
Restaurants sometimes. Very rarely, but just curious if you guys get that up there. Before we keep going, we gotta talk about the Circa, which we have shamefully not been to yet. We'll make it there. But the Circa Resort and Casino in Las Vegas is giving away the ultimate fantasy football experience for a 12-person league to draft in Vegas and be treated like VIPs for their stay. You're going to get a limo ride from the airport, a $5,000 tab for stadium swim, challenge accepted, and a hotel stay for you and your 11 league mates. Plus, if you want to just go check out the Circa, you can always get 15% off all the Circa properties with promo code SGP15. Don't forget to enter the Ultimate Fantasy Football Contest for free. That's right, for free, not costing you a dime to enter at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/circa. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/CIRCA. We're also brought to you by MyBookie, mybookie.ag. MyBookie is a place to bet on every sport, including this last NBA final game and including the CFL. Go bet on the CFL. We got a game tonight. MyBookie accepts customers from a ton of different locations, and it's easy to deposit and lightning fast payouts using crypto. That's right. Maybe you got in on some of the crypto rise before it was worth a lot, and now you can turn it into more money. Head over to mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Terms and conditions apply. That's mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN. All right, we are back. Should we get into this?
Yeah.
I think we get in this. Our topic today is, as you've probably heard me say 4 times now, can the Chiefs make the Super Bowl again this year? They've been in 5 of the last 6. Will they make it 6 of the last 7?
Obviously, they didn't win last year. They didn't get their 3-peat. It was put on hold because the Philadelphia Eagles, they gave them an ass whooping, let's just say.
It was a spanking.
But the Chiefs had won 4 of the previous 5 Super Bowls.
Yeah, before that
right?
loss.
I'm thinking about going back.
They've because they've won 4 or 5.
Yes.
Yeah.
What are we debating?
I don't know.
Okay. But that started 2 wins, no appearance, 2 wins, and then the loss last year. Yeah. So are they gonna? I know you want to ask me this.
Oh, you're gonna bury the lead right now?
I won't. No.
Don't bury the lead yet.
But I think one thing is, are they going to go back to 2 wins? Are they going to keep doing this pattern? Are we going to see them if they go 2 more wins and they're going to appear in 8? No, because they didn't appear 1 year, but still in 8 years.
You do math funny.
I do math funny.
Yeah, and they're currently third actually in the AFC Championship winner odds at 4-1. Yeah. This is, I believe, the only time in the last 4 years that they have not been the favorite, the odds-on favorite to win the AFC Championship. So
yeah, I feel like for me, there are 2 main reasons you have to consider about them making the Super Bowl again this year. They have head coach Andy Reid, quarterback Patrick Mahomes. Those are the 2
very good reasons.
2 reasons. I mean, they're one of the best combos we've seen since Bill Belichick and Tom Brady.
True.
What?
Well, that reminds me of something. Tom Brady opened up, I believe it was the WWE Fan Fest, the wrestling thing. He came out with a championship belt. He spit on an Eagles jersey, He ripped, well, it was you could see where it was pre-cut so that he could rip it easily. He
It's not
ripped
strong enough to rip it
it,
anymore.
right. He ripped an Eli Manning jersey. Well, he is strong apparently though, because then Eli Manning came out and jumped on his back and he piggyback carried Eli Manning back up the ramp, bent down and picked the ripped jersey up to give it to Eli. Like, hey, look what I did, and carried him in. I mean, I was kind of impressed that he carried Eli at his age.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. Go on.
Yeah, just going back to Andy Reid, Mahomes
Mm-hmm.
with this combo. I think as long as Mahomes is healthy,
Yeah.
they have a chance in any given game.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, the past 2 years have almost felt like they've been a little slow, or like I know 2 years ago
They've had moments.
Yeah.
They've had moments.
2 years ago it was like, oh, this is not the same team.
Mm-hmm.
And then but their defense is really good, but it's not the same Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, last year it was like, well, this defense isn't as good, but they quietly went 15-2. Like maybe they weren't dominating the same.
I do agree.
they
Last
were
year it
winning.
was a quiet, like
It didn't seem like they were that good.
no, but that record speaks for itself.
Yeah, I mean, they won the games that mattered up until they didn't. Sorry, Chiefs fans.
Did they? Can you say they won the games that mattered if they didn't win the game that mattered?
Well, they got to it, but you're right. You're right.
You know,
Whoops.
I think if you look at what they lost, they guard Joe
Joe Tooney.
Tooney. There you
Yeah.
go. Thank you.
Mhm.
He went to the
I
Bears.
was gonna say now a
Yes.
Chicago Bear.
Safety Justin Reed to the Saints. Wide receivers DeAndre Hopkins, Mecole Hardman,
Mhm.
and Justin Watson.
Yeah.
So I always feel like the Chiefs receivers, it's always just
It's a lot of
a
turnover.
rotating,
Yeah.
whatever it is, people in and out all the time
Right.
because it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
In a way.
They brought back your guy, Juju Smith-Schuster. You
Yep.
were really high on him the first year. Didn't work out for
It
you,
didn't
but
because
in
it
fantasy
doesn't
football,
matter because
I know.
Mahomes can just make it happen with
Yeah.
anybody. It's hard to rely when they have so many
right.
choices and they do make it happen.
It is one of the
It's-
reasons Mahomes is so successful is he doesn't need to rely on one guy.
No,
I mean,
he has definite chemistry with certain people.
I
but-
am shocked you did not say Okem.
I almost said Okem.
Well, yeah, like I mean,
But I mean,
you could argue
there's
Travis
Okem,
Kelce.
but there's built up chemistry with Kelce.
You could argue that is his
Mhm.
his guy, but you're seeing Travis start to decline a little.
Yeah.
So
Speaking more about like what they lost, they also lost defensive tackles, Tershawn Wharton and Derek Naughty.
Yeah.
Naughty, something.
Derek N.
And they're also out linebacker Josh
Uchi. It's a
sure.
weird name. I don't know.
So
You
I
can
mean,
tell I don't pay attention to broadcasts. We usually mute, especially if it's Chris Collinsworth. I mean, it's just like
here's a guy.
nope.
I don't want to. Yeah, he doesn't give us names. He always says, "Here's a
Now,
guy."
here's a guy.
So anyway, I feel like they've got a lot of losses, but it
Mhm.
doesn't feel like these are irreplaceable. I mean, some of these people, it's okay,
I'd like to hope that
not like they're
Tooney-
not
Yeah, I'd like to hope that Tooney's irreplaceable, just because that means the Bears got a really good deal. But we'll see.
You can be hopeful.
Yeah,
Be
right.
hopeful for us.
That offensive line obviously did not perform well in the Super Bowl because Mahomes was running for his life. But the Eagles also very fucking good.
Yes. They re-signed running back Kareem Hunt, linebacker Nick Bolton, defensive ends Malik Herring and Charles Amanihu, wide receivers Hollywood Brown. You mentioned Juju Smith already. They also franchise tagged to keep their guard Trey Smith.
Yeah. Hollywood Brown, I was kind of excited to see what he could do in this
Mhm.
offense, and then he got hurt last year.
Yes.
So it'll be interesting to
It-
see what he does.
But I guess I always think in terms of fantasy. So
Mhm.
I'm just thinking but do you want the shares?
I mean, so they have Xavier Worthy, who
Mhm.
I guess if I have to pick one wide receiver, it might be him. But I'm curious what Hollywood Brown does. I don't even know what's going on with Rashee Rice after the incident walking away from the car crash,
Yeah.
missing last year. Like, is he going to be punished for that? Is he not? I have not heard an official word on
Mhm.
that. But if you think about so you have Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, Hollywood Brown, Juju Smith-Schuster, who has had some success there. I mean,
Mhm.
it's like medium success. He's not a top guy, but he gets the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Travis Kelce, they run the ball. I actually really like one of their additions at running back, Kareem Hunt to start with, but another
Right.
one. I think it's too difficult to take any of these guys if you want them to be your wide receiver one. Like if they could be a flex piece, sure.
But
it
that
will
is
be
a gamble
boomer
because
bust.
it's boomer bust. I think
You're right.
that Chiefs wide receivers are just boomer bust
Yeah.
because you never know where the ball's going to, like,
Yeah.
you can kind of make some, I like predictions based on the defense they're going against, but
Right.
I still feel like it's hit or miss because
Yeah.
there should be some like, well, obviously.
Yeah. Agreed.
But,
So some guys they signed include offensive tackle Jalen Moore,
mhm.
the running back I mentioned that I really like, running back Elijah Mitchell, who had a lot of
Yes.
success when he started for the 49ers. He has had some health concerns, but that's a guy that I feel like in
Here's
that
a guy.
offense, here's a guy that I feel like could be good. They beefed up the cornerback room a little bit. Christian Fulton, Robert Rochelle.
Mhm.
I don't know if those guys are getting me excited or anything, but they also had a defensive tackle, Jerry Tillery. They brought in Gardner Minshew to back Mahomes up.
Mhm.
Minshew has not had a lot of success starting, but I do think he's a viable backup for if you need him for a game. Or let's say the Chiefs are ahead 49-10. There's no reason to keep Mahomes in there and get him
No.
hurt. Minshew can hand the ball off just fine. They drafted some guys like Josh Simmons, the offensive tackle. So obviously offensive tackle was a focus in free agency and the draft.
Nice to see that they're investing in the offensive line.
Right. The Bears did that this year. We can't complain anymore unless
I'm going to complain
completely
always
fails.
because of all the previous years.
Yeah, that's fair. They got defensive lineman Omar Norman Lott out of Tennessee, who I was a fan of. So I guess the question is, after looking at all that, will they win the AFC Championship and make it to the Super Bowl? What are your thoughts?
This is hard because there's a lot of good teams, but I kind of think yes.
I knew you were going to
I
say
think it's
that.
hard to say no when they're not.
You're kind of a Mahomes backer. I've noticed that. Mahomes backer.
I like winning,
and
the Bears don't win.
That's fair.
No,
That's fair.
It's hard when there's not like any significant, like, oh, that they're hurting here this year, or do you know what I mean? They are on a mission.
Right.
They have said they are building their dynasty. They are not giving up. They are going to be a very competitive team. They're going to stay competitive.
Mahomes did mention that they're restarting the three-peat. It starts this year.
Yeah, I think they want to break this record. They want more rings than Brady.
Yeah.
He wants more rings than Brady.
And he's off to a great start. If he stays healthy, he's going to play for a lot longer still. So good start.
Yeah. So I think they're absolutely a likely team to get that.
Yeah. And you can hate on the Chiefs all you want. But I don't think anybody can say that Mahomes is a bad quarterback. Like, I mean, you used to always hear, well, Brady is just a system quarterback. I don't hear anybody say that about Mahomes because of the throws he makes and the things that he can do. It is quite otherworldly. I mean, he's the best quarterback in the league right now. And maybe it's too early to say this now, but maybe ever. We'll see. He may
maybe ever.
I mean, it's hard to argue with his success. I mean, we just talked about it, 4 rings in 5 years.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Anyways, I'm a no.
You're a no.
I think
Bills.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about who I think.
Okay.
Well, you already know if you've listened to us that I'm very high on the Bills this year.
I want to see. Sorry, I just have to say I want to see Josh Allen make it.
Well, this year he got married in the off season, and then his chick is some vampire movie with Michael B. Jordan, and their OChem has been talked about. I mean, Josh Allen is ready to whip his dick out and just say, "Hey, let's remember who the alpha is." That's my thoughts there. But let's catch up with the chat real quick. Channing saying that we don't get anything good even when we got it. So that's pretty funny. Probably find aftermarket for the right price though. So yeah, and fantasy football girl advice: Bears versus Colts in the Super Bowl again. I like that. I obviously, as a Bears fan, you can see the.
Do you know how exciting that would be if we could finally, like? I just want to see us in my lifetime as a Bears fan get to the Super Bowl. Because what was it, 2006?
It was 2006. You were not a Bears fan at the time.
No.
We had not met.
We had not met.
Yes. You didn't even watch football.
Not at that time.
Yeah.
I was.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wasn't a huge football fan until I was more in college.
Right.
I was not in college.
When I taught you the game and showed you the ways. That game, I actually just talked about this on the, I believe it was the UFL Gambling podcast when we recapped the championship, because Colby was talking about how the UFL doesn't have a real kickoff and the CFL does. And I made a joke of, you know what? I'm actually glad the NFL doesn't have a real kickoff anymore, because I will never have to get my hopes up in a Super Bowl watching Devin Hester take the opening kickoff back for a touchdown and thinking, holy shit, we're going to beat Peyton Manning. We're going to beat the Colts. The Bears are going to be Super Bowl winners. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to cry. And just to have Rex Grossman crush my dreams as our quarterback. Kyle Orton still should have gotten the start there, in my opinion, but we'll digress. Thanks for checking in. Jamie saying Travis Swift said he is focusing more on football this offseason than his boyfriend. What? I'm so confused. And Channing mentioning it's hard to find a guy that gets him excited.
So we're saying that we're saying that Travis Kelce is going to be refocused on football, because I will say he's been distracted.
He has been distracted.
I'd be excited if he could.
We've seen
be back to when he was in his prime.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen the videos of him partying at the Euro show or whatever that was called, her show over in Europe.
There's nothing wrong with supporting.
No, I agree.
Supporting her and going to all her shows.
Look at you. I agree.
All right. Let's talk about some other Super Bowl contenders then. I brought up the Bills already.
Yeah, let's talk about them.
So, yeah, let's start with the Bills, who they're tied currently for favorite to win the AFC.
Yeah, it's not just me picking up the steam.
No, that's at plus 330.
And remember, the Chiefs are 4-1 plus 400.
Yeah. And if we're going to see the Bills get there, we have to, let's be honest, it's going to be because of Josh Allen.
Yeah. That guy, you keep hearing the complaints from Bills fans of, we don't have any receivers and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, it doesn't matter. I think Patrick Mahomes has a lot of weapons and he does a good job of spreading the ball out and utilizing them. I don't know if Josh Allen has a lot of weapons. He just makes them better. He also runs the ball very well. They've been close year after year, obviously. Last year, they went 13-4. What they need to clean up, though, they did struggle on the road. They went 5-4 on the road. They have improvements on both sides of the ball. They didn't need a lot, obviously. I mean, they went 13-4, all the losses on the road. But you still hear people complain about the wide receiver room. They did that last year, and they averaged the most points in the league per game. So for me, the only way I'm saying Bills aren't making the Super Bowl this year, because I'm obviously very high on them. I say they're making the Super Bowl. The only way is if Josh Allen gets hurt. He is the cog in that system that it's all built around. Otherwise, he got a big contract this offseason.
So they're going. If he's healthy, you're saying they're going.
They're going. Yes. I love the plus 330 because it's plus money. They're going to go. That number is going to drop as the season starts and they keep winning game after game. I think he's going to say, hey, I got the good contract, which, by the way, when his agent called him and said, hey, they're here. Here's what we had talked about. And Josh Allen said he wasn't trying to be like full of himself, but he was saying it's a lot of money. If we're just a little bit off, let's just take the less money so that it's good for the team. He wanted what was best for the team there.
Not many people would do that.
No, a lot of these guys, we hear them like, pay me, It's still, it's a huge contract. And he's right. I mean, he's getting like $400 million or something stupid like that. Probably. It doesn't matter at that point if you knock off another 20 million or something. Anyways, he's going to prove that he was worth that money, that he was worth it right away. And they're going to make the Super Bowl. Bills.
Okay.
And they're going to beat not the Chiefs in the AFC Championship. I don't think the Chiefs are making it.
You don't think at all? Well, when I look at this next team, it's also hard to rule them out, in my opinion. But the Chiefs, they've gotten there year after year.
Yeah.
it's just hard for me for the momentum and the motivation that team has and the determination to just they want to keep stacking them up.
By the way, let us know in the chat who you think's winning the AFC.
So I mentioned that Bills were tied. They're tied with the Ravens, who are also at plus 330.
Yeah.
Looking at this team, just their defense, one of the top defenses in the league. They have, on paper, this roster just seems like the most talented. Lamar Jackson, he can run and throw the ball very well. They've also got Derrick Henry, who's just a dog on the field. They brought in DeAndre Hopkins as a big wide receiver that's going to help Lamar out.
Yeah, if he stays healthy, that's a great addition.
So this team, on paper, the roster, like, it excites me.
You get excited about
I get
the
excited.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get it.
They seem like they should be just a powerhouse team.
Yeah, and they looked really good last year. Their downfall, in my opinion, is Lamar does tend to choke a little bit in the playoffs.
Just a little.
That's the only thing that's holding them back. And like the Bills, you could argue Lamar gets hurt, that it's over. But I honestly believe that Josh Allen getting hurt hurts the Bills more than Lamar Jackson getting hurt hurts the Ravens, because I just think there is a lot of talent on that team that other guys can probably pick up the slack a little bit. They can still stay in it. Their defense is very good. I think Josh Allen injury hurts way more than a Lamar Jackson injury. But there is we mentioned that before this year, the Chiefs had made the Super Bowl in 4 out of 5 years. They won 2, and then they were not in the Super Bowl at all. Then they won 2, and then they lost, right? The year that they were not here.
That's 6 years, though.
2, 1, 2. Yeah, they've been in it 5 of the last 6.
Oh, right. 5 of the last 6, but there's 6 years. So the math is not mathing for me. I got caught up on this earlier because I was thinking it would be 8 years, but it's not 8 years in a row. It'd be 7 out of 8 if they go for another 2 in the pattern.
Right.
Sorry.
You're good.
So I was right earlier when I said 8 years.
Yeah. Well, you confused me. Jamie, by the way, saying not sure who's going to win, but the Browns are losing to AFC.
I can get behind that.
Shedeur Sanders has had 2 speeding tickets this month. The last one was over 100 miles an hour. And I saw CBS Sports say, there was a guy on CBS Sports. They gave him a warning of, basically you got to watch yourself because they will cut you and you'll be banned from the league.
For speeding tickets?
He's on a team with Deshaun Watson, who was accused of 28 and molestations, basically, and sexual harassment. He's not going to be banned. Yeah, he will not be banned. Rashee Rice was speeding and crashed into somebody. He's not been banned.
No.
Get out of here, CBS Sports. That is a terrible take.
Justin, I can't even say this because my tickets were just stupid cam tickets. It wasn't even. I've never gotten. I need to knock on wood. Never have gotten a ticket from being pulled over by an officer. I've been pulled over many times.
Yeah, you
never get a ticket.
To get out of it.
But
women, am I right?
I have to tell you that I am not in the NFL. Because I have
speeding tickets. That makes sense. Shout out to Jared, new sub. How are you guys? We're doing good.
Hello.
Thank you for subbing. We're kind of discussing who could make the Super Bowl on the AFC side. So let us know who you think could. And Jamie saying word on the street is Shedeur Sanders was speeding to save a baby from a burning building. That does sound like something that they would try to spin. And Deshaun Watson was just looking out.
This is like a real, people are saying.
He's making that up. Calm
okay.
You had her.
It's like, what did I miss?
It's Friday.
Okay, never mind. It is the end of the week. I'm ready to.
And Deshaun Watson was just trying to help people relax. I mean, come on.
Hey. Let's stop.
Anyways, where I was going with this is when the Chiefs did not make the Super Bowl, which was 3 years ago, the AFC team that did make the Super Bowl in their place was the Cincinnati Bengals. They're currently sitting in 4th in the AFC Championship odds at 9.5 plus 950 to 1. And I keep hearing all this chatter about Joe Burrow being MVP, but not a lot about Bengals making the Super Bowl. I mean, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, he and Chase did have a really good year last year. They couldn't win enough games.
I guess that is true, and maybe that's why that the steam is not picking up.
No.
But if I'm picking anybody besides the Bills, it's the Bengals.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You're picking them over the Ravens.
Yes.
And over the Chiefs, because
Yes.
you're going to put the Chiefs that low.
Yes, but I think finally the NFL sort of adjusts and figures this offense out, maybe. But I will not pick them until they they extend Trey Hendrickson and sign first round Shamar Stewart, which we talked about last week, because you have to. You have to get these guys paid. You got to get them on the field. One is your best defensive player, arguably, in Trey Hendrickson. One is a rookie that you drafted in the first round, and you're trying to screw them over on semantics. I mean,
if they don't, they just threw away a first rounder.
Right. Well, he could re-enter the draft next year. He could sit out this whole year, I guess. But
again,
the contract.
You have a first round pick and you don't keep him.
I know. The funny thing is, I don't think it's ever happened before, but I was reading up on this. He could choose to sit out, not sign his contract, re-enter the 2026 draft, and be drafted by any team but the Bengals. They would not have rights to draft him, even if they were like, we're getting this guy.
And then he goes on and to do great things.
Right.
Can you imagine being a Bengals fan?
Just interesting. You do have Chargers, Broncos.
And the Broncos.
Yeah.
Those are pretty.
They're tied at 12-1.
Mm-hmm.
You've heard me say it. I'm a Bo Lever, but not yet. I don't think it's his time yet. Chargers might be good again under Harbaugh, but in his second year, I'm still not fully sold on them. By the way, Jared saying Buffalo could if Josh Allen gets over the KC hump in the playoffs. That is my pick as well. And it's Jamie made that up. There was no baby.
I know.
Baltimore, if Lamar doesn't struggle in the playoffs, yeah, that's the thing. Like he's got to prove that he can't.
He's got to not choke.
Jamie and I were going back and forth a little bit because I kind of like the Giants over 5.5 wins, especially because it's at plus money, especially because Russell Wilson, there's only one season in his whole career where he has had less than 5 wins. That was his first season with the Broncos. And their defense is elite. Now, they do have a very tough schedule. I get that. I agreed with your Cowboys. I think they could beat the Saints. The Raiders, it seems like a game that the Bears would lose. Their defensive line would punish us, I feel like. Maybe that offensive line really is revamped. We'll see. I'm trying not to get too hopeful yet.
We do this every year. Like, we can't be hopeful, but we are, though. You are. Underneath it, you say that. I'm hopeful. But you are extremely hopeful.
But this defensive line is nasty. In fact, I think they could be the best defensive line in the league. They're going to, sorry, I'd noticed that Sports Nonsense and Whiskey just tuned in, but I think they'll beat the Broncos. I think they're going to give the Bo Lever a little bit of trouble, which, by the way, he in the past 10 years has thrown the longest pass via air yards. And Jared saying AFC West is going to be tougher. I agree. So that's kind of, that gives them 5 games, Jamie, and then they just need one more lucky game because you always see that kind of stuff happening. Real quick before we're going to do a little betting, my bottle lock bets. We're going to talk about that in a little bit, and we're going to drink some Weller 12 and review that. But before we do, tell everybody a little bit about Underdog Fantasy.
We are brought to you by Underdog Fantasy, and Underdog has so many great things going. Check out our socials, as Justin has given out some long shot pick'em entries to celebrate the longest day of the year, which is today, people. There are bonuses, ladders, and much more. You have to try Underdog if you haven't. Plus, I keep hearing from Justin how he's excited that they have CFL. He is posting those plays too, so subscribe. Go sign up with promo code OFF SGPN to claim your special pick plus first time deposit offer of up to $1,000 in bonus credits. That's underdogfantasy.com, promo code OFF SGPN.
And we're also brought to you by Rhythm. You've heard us talk about Rhythm before, and they just dropped a game-changing feature called Power Trends. These are AI-detected patterns where Rhythm's model has consistently won and has a high return on interest. Think of like a strikeout prop that wins 59% of the time when the line and win probability hit a certain range. Power Trends are updated daily and exclusive to Rhythm. No touts, no noise, just clean, data-backed bets. Download the Rhythm app, check out Power Trends, and start betting smarter because we will be. Just get your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. All right, we are back. Before we talk about Whiskey, Let's talk a little bottle lock bets. It did not go well.
It didn't.
Didn't go well last week.
You didn't get the
No.
the win.
And I
last
said
week.
we weren't going to have any whiskey all month if that happened. No new whiskey anyways. But it was the first one. We're going to reset it already. Let's hit the reset button. It's a different time. By the way, in my parlay that I gave out as part of the bottle lock bets,
I would like to make a stipulation, like I don't think we should have parlays in the bottle lock bets ever,
Well,
or we are
shit.
not going to get new whiskey.
There's one in this one.
Justin,
I had in that parlay because it was a watered down line. I had the running back. I can't even remember.
did
who
you
it
miss
was.
just one?
Yeah. I had him at 30 yards. He ran for 29. It's like you couldn't have.
That's the
fallen
only
over.
part of your parlay that
I
didn't make
believe
it.
so. I'd have to go look back, but I know the
It's
first-
always one. I just
know.
wish you'd stay away from them because you're amazing at picking them, but you're going to get one wrong every single time.
Well, you'll be happy to hear that one of them is not a parlay this time.
I think parlays should not be in the bottle lock bets, or that impacts my whiskey.
That impacts your whiskey. Yeah, I suppose it does.
It does.
And real quick, Sports Nonsense Whiskey was a little offended. He's going to put a bottle on Giants losing to Broncos. I don't believe in the Giants that much, but you might be changing your tune when you get around to that and see that nasty defensive line. We'll see. And Jared saying Chargers could make some noise. I think they just need a little bit more time with Jim to have him get everything right. But let's get to these bottle lock bets.
Let's do it.
And if you're on YouTube, you can see it now. And if you're not tuned in live, unfortunately, you're going to miss out on the parlay. Maybe that's lucky you. I don't know, because it's for a game that starts tonight in about 17 minutes. So get it in now. But
there's nothing in the bottle. Like we're back to the bottom of the bottle.
We're back to the bottle. It's not filled up yet, but we're getting there. Again, this is $20 that, we could buy Evan Williams Bottled and Bond. Not a terrible whiskey. I actually really like Evan Williams Bottled and Bond. But we're seeing if we can get something a little more foo-foo, a little more fancy. Yeah.
Foo-foo.
Everybody loves
I don't think I want
whiskey.
foo-foo whiskey. I'll pass.
You'll pass. All right. Well, let's talk about the first one. These are in the Canadian Football League. Check out the CFL Gambling Podcast. But I try to give some different lines than what we talk about there. Are you still
Can we
stuck?
just bougie?
Bougie. There you go. Some bougie. I can think of a good word.
That's where you defaulted to foo-foo.
I guess so. Does that make me foo-foo? What's going on here?
I just
Anyways,
not heard that come out of your mouth before. So
let's get this going since there's 17 minutes until the game starts in Winnipeg.
Mm-hmm.
Brady Oliveira is out. Rookie Matthew Peterson came in for him because he got injured in the game and ran for 130 yards. His line is only at 48.5, and he's playing the same damned team. I think he easily gets over 50. $10 wins you 18 there. Now's the watered down parlay that you don't like, but water down your parlays, not your whiskey. I'll go through these quick, but in tonight's game, AJ Owlett 40+ rushing yards against his old team, the Toronto Argonauts. And I got Argonauts running back Mayan Williams. They had him at only 15 rushing yards in this watered down parlay. He can do 15. Devaris Daniels for the Argos is out. So DeMonte Coxey already had a huge target share in that wide receiver room. I believe he was at 23% average over the first two games. So I just need him 40+ receiving yards and 4 receptions. And then our last part, Jalen Philpott. Reggie Bagleton is out with a broken leg. Jalen Philpott's going to work into that slot back position again. 30+ receiving yards, $10 wins you 23.09. This one's hitting. We're walking away with 41.09. And then we shall decide with the chat if we look for a $41 whiskey or if we keep building in the bottle lock bets.
So our listeners have the power for when we cash out the bottle, but we're broke for now.
We're broke
because you did a parlay last week and now you did a parlay this week. So we're probably going to start over next
This
week.
one's going to hit.
I want to be confident in you, but there was one time you hit a really good parlay.
Not just one time. I hit good parlays.
Then you
all
don't
the
tell
time,
me. But there was one really good parlay.
Yes,
you know what I'm
I've
talking
hit some
about.
very good ones.
Very good ones.
Yeah.
You hit a high-paying parlay once, and I feel like you just go for you just like your parlays, and you always miss one.
Well, the funny thing is in the NFL, which you can get a lot of alt lines, so watered down lines. You can do 25 in each of them, and I do like just a $2-3 bet on that because the odds, if you're hitting 25 different things, the odds very.
And you hit 24 of the 25 all the time,
yeah.
And it drives me crazy.
I do a lot of times.
Like it's impressive that you get that many correct, but it's also like you're gonna miss one.
That's fair. That's fair.
Are we going to talk about the whiskey?
Let's talk about the
I
whiskey.
want to talk about. Okay, fine. I will get to what I was going to say in a second.
Well, tell everybody.
Because I saw what you put on the screen.
Yeah.
So because it's Top Shelf June, this week we are drinking Weller 12. Justin made a very tiny old fashioned that we split into these tiny glasses, which is what I wanted to talk about.
Oh, you didn't like the presentation?
There's more to it. I've been nervous as we've been sitting here. Because these were just like little like taster glasses. I thought they were really cute and we got them at IKEA.
Yeah.
But have you we were in IKEA once and I wanted to look for like normal drinking glasses.
Oh, you've been nervous of these
exploding. Because I don't know what makes them explode. But if you go to IKEA and you look at their glasses, like just their plain, like just glasses, and you look at their reviews, there are so many exploding glasses reviews where it's just sitting empty on their counter and it exploded out of nowhere.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
Not like it explodes in the dishwasher.
No,
like
it's on the counter and there's no like they weren't drinking out of it. Like it was just sitting on the counter and it exploded. And that is in a lot of the reviews. So when we were at IKEA once, this was a while back looking for drinking glasses.
IKEA often because we don't have one here.
No, Minneapolis.
Yeah.
Thank you, Keeper's Heart, for bringing me IKEA IKEA trips as well.
Thank you.
But I was going into the reviews and we were also looking at some colored glasses that I had seen. And those reviews too are like the bad reviews. Because when I go and look at reviews, I want to see what the worst things people said about a product. So I like, because they automatically, I don't know if IKEA's does, but Amazon always gives you the top reviews. Like, I don't want to see what somebody like, fine, people love it. Show me what goes wrong. But the amount of 1-star reviews because they exploded.
Yeah, this wasn't like one person.
And it wasn't just one glass. It was like, okay, well, let me look at these glasses. No, let me look at these. I think I had looked at 4 different ones before we're like, nope, we're not getting glasses here because they explode spontaneously.
And we didn't get glasses there until we did.
Until this last trip, these are tiny.
Now, were you nervous of them exploding or nervous of them exploding because they have some Weller 12?
Like, I'm not worthy of this.
But the Weller.
No, yours was empty there. And I'm just like, it's an empty IKEA glass. Is it going to explode? It's also very hot in here. And
it is. If you zoom in, you can probably see me sweating because it is warm.
So I didn't know get it behind there. But it's a thing. I'm not making it up.
Yeah,
IKEA's glasses explode.
Yeah.
Spontaneously. Okay. So we are drinking Weller 12.
Mm-hmm.
Did you already do a little sniff?
No, I did not.
Okay, fine. We did an episode on Buffalo Trace not too long ago, and we really covered, the Buffalo Trace distillery. We've talked about Weller on there. We did Weller Antique 107 last week and talked a little bit more. So I go back and check those out. I don't want to keep bringing you guys the exact same information like week after week since this is another Weller product.
Yeah, the deep dive was episode 179.
Yeah,
Buffalo
when we
Trace.
did Buffalo Trace.
Yeah.
So go check that out.
Yeah.
Yeah. You wanna?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. It's wheated bourbon, which you normally don't like, but you like Weller.
I do.
Yeah. He was one of the first let's say he was one of the first that was given credit for wheated. Yes.
Instead of rye.
High wheat content. Yes. There was probably, we know how it worked back in those days. There was probably other people doing it. They might have even been African-American. This whiskey
especially
industry,
the whiskey industry.
Yes.
Like it doesn't give enough credit.
Yes. Like Jack Daniels being credited for coming up with the Lincoln process and Tennessee whiskey when we know that it was actually Nearest Green, not Jack Daniels. Nearest Green taught him how to do that because Nearest Green was already doing it. Anyways, so it's very possible that Mr. William LaRue Weller was not the first, but he was the first credited and the one that got that. And this is called Weller 12 because it's aged 12 years, which most whiskeys, not all, but most whiskeys, when they are aged longer, that's why it is a little bit harder or a bigger price point, I should say. And it's harder to find because there's a very kind of cult following after this stuff. Like people love it. So first of all, since we already had it in our cocktail, despite you being afraid of the exploding glass, What did you think?
I don't know if they explode when there's beverages in them.
Yeah, just empty. Sitting on the
I don't
counter,
know.
maybe.
That's what I was. Some of those reviews, I should have. Well, I can't say I should have. I just thought of it right now. I'm looking at your empty IKEA glass. What did you ask me?
What did you think of it in the cocktail? Because we score these. If you haven't
Yes.
joined us,
Go ahead.
there's 4 categories, 5 points in each category, so it's out of a total of 20.
Mm-hmm.
And if we don't say the scores now, I will forget to
You
ask
will.
you.
I think. Well, first of all, this old fashioned didn't have an ice cube in it, and so it's just as strong. It tastes strong.
I did not want it watered down.
I didn't either, but I think it's if you don't maybe make it with an old fashioned. If you're gonna put mixers in this, which is a crime,
Yeah, don't do it. but we have to
then
for the
don't do
scoring.
it with ice. Don't water it down because I thought it was good.
Liked it?
I could tell like it wasn't like it just tasted like a really good old fashioned.
I had to get pretty creative, in my opinion, to come up with or get the ratio right in making a small old fashioned, because that was just with 1 ounce of whiskey,
Okay.
instead of our normal 2 to 2.5, so it was different that way.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, what would you score it? Because I agree. I thought it
4.
stood out well. 4. Okay.
I'm not gonna say this is the best old fashioned I've ever had. It's not
Well-
gonna say that I would. This is not gonna become a go-to because
No,
we're
absolutely
not
not.
putting
You
this in an old
shouldn't,
fashioned.
and you probably shouldn't.
But I
for the
think it's
scoring
good
you
if
do,
you want to try it and you really, for some reason, don't like whiskey neat.
then try something different in your old fashioned. A different whiskey. Don't do this one.
But I don't
I'm
know.
gonna give it a 3.8. Just because I
Even your
have
numbers.
to be different.
Okay,
You
that's
like
fine.
to be even, Steven. Real quick before you taste it, bottle.
Mm.
Now we gave a 3 to the Weller, or 2.
I thought it was a 2.
A 2 to Antique.
I'm gonna give it the
because-
same.
Yeah.
It's gonna get the same bottle rating. It's not. It's a recognizable bottle because of the brand,
Right.
but it's
There's nothing
nothing
special
like,
about
and
it.
the label's nothing like.
And they don't have to. They can have a
They don't
no-frills
have
bottle.
to, but they don't need a fancy bottle to help them market.
Right.
The name does it for them.
Blanton's
So-
does. I feel like.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it would be the price it is or as popular if it weren't for the bottle. This
And the collector brass
Right.
racing horse topper with
Yeah.
the letters.
this people just want,
Mhm.
because it's Weller.
Well, and Weller 12 is, like you said, it's really hard to find.
Yeah.
But the bottle gets a 2 for me because it's not nothing fancy to me.
Okay.
I like really detailed,
I know you do.
nice glass bottles.
Yeah. No, and I think you gotta do something to set yourself
Mhm.
apart.
And it
on
has
the
a screw
shelves.
top. That bothers me. That almost should make it have a did the antique?
Yeah.
It had a screw top? I
believe-
don't know. I
oh,
thought
maybe
one
it
of them didn't.
No, the
I think
Antique
this
did
should
not.
almost get a
You're right.
1.5 because it's a screw top. I don't like that.
All right, 1.5.
You don't get this satisfying pop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just get.
Yeah. This isn't like a bottle of like barefoot wine.
Right.
This is Weller and it's a screw top.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't like that.
No, I mean it makes it feel as fancy as Coors Light, right? So, by the way, a little personal story here. I went to the doctor. He said my good cholesterol was low. Everything else was fine cholesterol wise, but he said was told by a doctor at one point. My doctor was told by a doctor. I'm guessing an old school doctor, but he said you could take medicine for that, or you can have a cold
And we're
beer
not
a day.
taking medicine to raise your like we're gonna
Right,
figure
we'll
it out.
just have some
But
cold beers.
yeah,
I mean,
your doctor told you to have a couple beers. Raise your good
And-
cholesterol numbers by drinking.
right. So props to that doc. I should have asked him, what about some whiskey? Does that fit into the same
I don't
category?
think it's the same. Well, I mean, you can't have whiskey unless you make beer.
You see? So maybe it is the same. We'll see.
Yeah.
I think his point was, just relax a little. It's nothing to sweat. Have a beer. It's fine. But I'll have some whiskey instead. Why don't you get on to the nose?
Oh yeah, the nose.
Oh, you had the nose. You didn't even remember you had a pour of it there. I decided to get out some little fancier glasses
You
than
did,
normal.
and I don't know
you're
if
on
I like the
YouTube.
shape for the whiskey.
Oh, sorry.
These
I
are
just-
like port dessert wine
Well,
glasses. What did
I-
you do?
I
I
fucked up the
clearly had no
glassware.
notes. The glass matters, and okay, this is
All glass matters, honey. I almost put them in the smaller versions of the ones our old fashions were in, but I decided that it needed to be fancy. Wrong decision.
Well, it just needs a little bit.
We also have mini
bigger opening.
Glencairns. I almost did that, but those have to be hand washed, and ain't nobody got time for that. That's the mood I'm in today.
It's caramel, a little bit of oak on the nose.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're hit with caramel, oak, vanilla, and like
vanilla.
Yeah,
it's vanilla.
Vanilla is strong. It's like a very standard bourbon, but you can tell high quality, right? Like
yeah, I would say that. I mean, I'm trying to think because this to me, we did a comparison and we didn't put Weller. It's their special reserve.
Yeah,
is that what it's called?
It is
the green bottle.
The green bottle.
We did not put that in the top shelf.
This one's green too.
June. It is? No,
Yeah.
that was black.
Oh, it looks green to me.
That looks green to hold that up to the camera. That looks green to you? It's a black label.
That is green on the screen.
That is Weller 12 is a black label.
All right. Well, I'm partially colorblind.
Okay. Not normally with blacks. Shades of black. Okay, stop.
You're right. In that event, I see no color.
This is just going south.
Let's talk about the whiskey.
You normally get like shades of tan to white. Like you can't, if you have white and tan together, you can't see them.
No, if they're together, I can see them. If they're apart,
you can't tell. Okay.
Which one's white and which
and
one's
then
tan.
Purples and blues, you can't tell shades.
Yeah. Even sometimes.
But apparently, black and green are the same. You have a thing with black and green now.
All right, let's talk about the whiskey, not my color blindness.
Well, this is new to me. Like this is a new. Like I didn't know this about you.
No, you get
I'm discovering more about your color blindness and
oak, vanilla, a little bit of caramel. But like I said, so like if you have a standard bourbon, like a Buffalo Trace, it smells like this, but this smells like it's a higher quality of it.
Yes.
Like you can tell that it is a higher quality whiskey. Maybe that's because it's better ingredients. Maybe it's the wheat. Maybe it's because it's aged 12 years. But you can tell a difference. Like this smells better somehow, even though it's the same scent, same smells.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What would you rate it on the nose?
I would say a 3.5.
3.5. I hate to agree with you, but I will on this one.
Because on the nose, like with all the whiskeys we've tried, there are better, like there are more pleasing nose smells.
More pleasing nose smells. Yeah.
From some of the whiskeys we've had.
I can't argue that. There are more pleasing nose smells. You tasted it already.
I am so glad it's Friday. Just gonna throw that out there.
I believe you tasted it already.
I did. And it is like, hold on. Did you taste it?
I did. There's a little bit of heat, but not like a overheat. It's warming.
This one warms you. I was gonna say it warms your body. Like it's hot. I don't need this because it's hot in here.
Right.
It's always hot in your office.
Yeah.
On our hot days.
We shut the door to keep the cat out
which tells you how efficient our house is for this room.
This room, yeah, it's not the best.
But anyway, going back to the Weller 12.
Yes.
Quit
Sorry.
derailing. I've done it enough for us.
I got scolded.
It does. It warms you. Like I just feel like my whole body is just really warm inside now.
All right. How about like for the flavor profile? I mean, it's kind of the same as the scent. It's a bourbon.
There's a lot of vanilla. I get more vanilla out of this than other bourbons. The caramel is still there. It's not super sweet.
It's more vanilla than caramel, though. You're right.
And I think when you have more caramely bourbons, they taste a little sweeter if that comes through. This is more, there's more vanilla and oak.
Yeah. It's, I don't know
if it's extremely easy to drink.
It is very easy to drink. You get vanilla and oak. And again, like the scent, you get that like a regular bourbon, but high quality. Like you can tell it's high quality. Something I have not noticed before, and I'm noticing now is it's a little thin on the mouthfeel. It
is thin.
Yeah.
It's not a thick. Well, I don't know. I have legs.
Well, that doesn't mean anything. That's alcohol content. It's thin.
It
on
is
the
thin, though.
mouthfeel.
It's not a thick.
Not watery, but it is thin.
Some bourbons and whiskeys are a little bit more. I don't want to, not the consistency of syrup, but more syrupy.
Right, which is bad. I don't like that in whiskeys. But this is, to me, it's almost. It doesn't have to be this thin. Like it's almost two.
Do you think it's because they proof it down?
That could be because when you age it 12 years, they probably do have to proof it down, which would make it thinner. But when you drink this, if you're trying to figure out what are they talking about mouthfeel, when you drink a Irish whiskey and a bourbon, it's different mouthfeel because Irish whiskey is thinner.
This is thin like Irish whiskey.
It is, even though it's a bourbon.
It's a very good analogy there.
Thank you.
Oh, you want a pat on the back?
Toity now.
You're foo-foo.
I have foo-foo moments every now and then, and that was one of them.
I can't.
No, but I mean, obviously, it's a really good whiskey. A couple years ago, you couldn't find this for under $3. It's not. I mean, it's really good, but it's not worth that.
I'm not paying $300 for this bottle. No,
not at all. Obviously, find it cheaper. You can find it cheaper now. When I looked it up to grab the photo for our image, there was a store that had it that we've looked at before and has good reviews for $166. So the price on that has come down. I got it for an even better deal than that at the time. So shop around.
Keep an eye out.
Yeah, it's a nice bottle to have on the shelf for special occasions. I feel like this is not what I would have as a daily drinker because of the cost.
And I think we'll get it when people haven't tried it or they might want to try it. We get those bottles out and hey, try
this. And it's only 700 milliliters, not the 750. They give you 50 milliliters.
Yes, I forgot about that.
Thanks, William.
That almost gets this bottle's going downhill. Now it's like a 1 for the bottle because 1, it's only 700 milliliters. 2, it's a screw cap.
Right.
3, there's nothing special fancy about the bottle. Oh my gosh. Is the antique a 7? It's a 750, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
So this my bottle rating is a 1 now.
It's a 1, all right.
And I would like it to have all those notes in there. For one, it looks the same size, but it's 50 milliliters smaller.
Yeah, reminder to go to our Twitter at Old Fashioned FB, and we have the score pinned, so you can bring that up and see the spreadsheet of what we have done this year and scored, and see how things rank.
I almost feel like the bottles should be separate from our we should do the ratings, but it shouldn't play into the flavor. Nose and overall in a cocktail, because who gives a shit if it's in a shitty bottle?
So a taste score.
Taste score. Yeah. I think we need to modify this.
Okay, we could.
I like the bottle rating because I'm a
spreadsheet nerd. I can have 2 averages.
Yes, let's do this.
The one average.
We have to, because you could have a phenomenal whiskey in a plain Jane bottle.
True.
And we shouldn't be rating that lower.
That's fair. Yeah, we can do that.
We gotta split that out.
All right. What is your final score? Speaking of taste, for taste finish, what's your final score?
3.75.
Oh, that's weird. I was thinking 3.7. This is not scoring very high compared to what I thought it would.
I think for me, it's very good. It's very good. Maybe I'll go.
It's thinner than I remember.
It is thinner, but we've compared this with other bourbons that we really like,
right?
And they blindly, and we didn't pick this,
right? Well, we only picked one above it, didn't we? No, I don't
think so.
I think we only picked one.
I don't know. We'll have to go. I wrote it down.
Okay, I think it was just one.
Just one?
Yes. Bloody Butcher, Savage and Cook was the
winner.
But
there are others and the thing is we can't do any finished, no
right
cask finished.
Because that does throw.
Because it does. That's going to give you a completely different flavor profile.
I think you're thinking of Blanton's. Blanton's got way outshined by most of them. Anyways.
As it will.
I'm doing a 3.7, not
okay.
3.75, so I'm close with you there. Did you have anything else you wanted to add before we get everybody on out of here?
No.
We still
hope your glasses don't explode if you get them from IKEA.
We will end on that note. I hope your glasses don't explode. We still need to finish or find a new sign off. I still love our old one. I know we're not talking fantasy football auction leagues, but I don't give a shit. Going once, going twice.
Sold.